Axel was 8 years old when Elliot came home. Nobody taught him the baby's name. 3 months later, the sound that woke the house at 2 a.m. wasn't a cry. It was a warning nobody understood yet. Before you watch, remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss another touching story like this one. And write in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is there. The day Anna and David brought Elliot home, Axel didn't move from his perch for an hour. Just watched, head tilted, one eye then the other, studying the small bundle they carried through the door. "I think he liked him already," David said, laughing. Axel stepped down slowly, walked the length of the room toward the crib. When Elliot made a small sound, Axel answered with a soft chirp. What Anna didn't know yet, African gray parrots like Axel are considered among the most cognitively advanced birds on the planet. Some studies place their problem-solving and emotional recognition close to that of a 5-year-old child. Axel wasn't just reacting to noise. He was studying a new member of his flock. Weeks passed. Axel built his whole day around Elliot's rhythm. He picked up Elliot's laugh first, copying it note for note until it echoed through the house. Then one morning, Anna leaned over the crib and whispered, "Good morning, Elliot." Axel tilted his head, practiced the sound quietly to himself for 2 days. Then he said it clean, "Elliot." Anna and David froze. Their parrot had learned their son's name. But that same week, something else happened. Something smaller, easy to miss. Axel started refusing to eat his breakfast some mornings until he'd flown a slow circle above the crib first, just once around, then downed his food like he was doing a check nobody had asked him to do. "Weird little routine," Anna said, laughing it off. "Right? Yes, if you already have a feeling about where this is going." From then on, Axel used Elliot's name like it belonged to him, called it softly when Elliot stirred, whispered it when Elliot slept. Whenever Elliot cried, Axel didn't sit still. He'd call out, sharp and urgent, "Mama, Mama," until someone came. Parrot owners often describe this exact behavior without realizing what's behind it. African greys have hearing more sensitive to certain frequencies than humans do, including the exact pitch range of a distressed infant's cry, sometimes catching through a closed door before a baby monitor picks it up at all. Elliot grew attached too. He'd settle instantly at the sound of Axel's whistle. "He only calms down for you," Anna told Axel one night, only half joking. Axel's understanding kept surprising them. He learned to switch on Elliot's music box by himself when the house got too quiet. If Elliot cried and no one was near, he'd fly to find David's phone, grab in his beak, and carry it straight to him. He noticed things they didn't. One cold evening, he pecked hard at the window glass, agitated, until David checked the thermostat and found the heat had cut out. The first real scare came when Elliot was 14 months old. Anna had left a small dish of grapes on the side table near the playmat, cut in halves, forgotten for a moment while she answered the door. Axel saw Elliot crawling toward it, reaching for a whole one that had rolled free, uncut, round, exactly the size that catches in a toddler's throat. Axel didn't call out this time. He dove straight down, snatched the grape off the mat inches from Elliot's fingers, and carried away before Anna even turned around. "Axel, that's not yours to take," Anna scolded, thinking he'd stolen food, before she looked closer at what he'd actually grabbed and understood. She sat down hard on the couch, hand over her mouth. Nobody had taught him what a choking hazard was. He'd simply watched, learned the shape of danger, and acted faster than any adult in the room. For 2 years, that was Axel, guardian, translator, the quiet circle above the crib every morning, still going, still unexplained. Then, 3 months after Elliot's second birthday, everything changed. Axel started landing on the edge of the crib at night and staring down at Elliot without moving. Long minutes, head cocked at strange angles. Sometimes his beak drifted inches from Elliot's face, motionless, like he was reading something only he could see. "I don't like how he hovers like that," David said one evening, his voice tight. "It doesn't sit right with me." Anna brushed it off at first. Then it got worse. One afternoon, while Elliot slept, Axel swooped down without warning and pecked hard the blanket near his head. Sharp, deliberate, 3 times in a row. Elliot woke startled, crying. "He's getting aggressive," David said, alarmed, pulling Elliot up into his arms. A few nights later, it escalated further. Axel began shrieking beside the crib at nearly 2 a.m., over and over, "Elliot, Elliot, Elliot." The same word that used to sound like affection now coming out frantic, almost violent, loud enough to wake the whole street. Anna came running, shaken, heart pounding so hard she could feel it in her throat. Why would he do that? Why now? "Maybe I was right," David said quietly, holding a crying Elliot against his chest. "Maybe we need to keep him away from the crib for a while. I don't trust what I'm seeing anymore. Not after everything lately." Anna hesitated a long time before answering. She thought about the grape. She thought about 2 years of mornings, that same quiet circle over the crib, never explained, never questioned. And now this. "Okay," she finally whispered, though something in her chest still resisted the word. "We'll move his perch tomorrow." That night, before they got the chance, Anna was in the kitchen. Elliot was asleep, quiet, still, the room dark except for the small night light by the door. Axel sat near the crib and noticed something small. A bright piece of the hanging mobile above the bed had come loose days ago, and no one had checked it. Slowly, silently, it began sliding down the string, drifting closer to Elliot's sleeping face with every passing second. Axel didn't hesitate. He launched off his perch, screaming at full volume, "Baby, baby." Not a scared sound, an alarm, the loudest thing he'd ever made in that house. The piece fell as he reached the crib, grazed Elliot's cheek. Elliot jolted awake, crying hard. Axel's cries turned frantic. "Mama, mama, baby." Wings beating hard against the air, a small storm of pure defense. His whole body between Elliot and the fallen piece on the pillow. Anna ran in, breath catching in her chest. Saw the fallen piece. Saw Elliot crying. Saw Axel standing over him, still screaming warnings, refusing to move even when she reached for him. And finally, she understood. Every strange stare, every sharp peck, every frantic shriek of Elliot's name, every quiet circle flown above the crib each morning for 2 years. The grape, snatched away before she'd even seen the danger. None of it had been aggression. It had been Axel noticing dangers 2 adults had walked past 100 times. This time, a loose mobile piece he'd probably been watching wobble for days, trying to warn them the only way a bird can. Days later, it happened again. Elliot's blanket had crept up in his sleep, slowly covering his face. Axel spotted it before either parent walked past the room, landed beside him, gripped the corner of the blanket in his beak, and dragged it clear until Elliot's breathing came easy again. "Good boy, Elliot," Axel whispered. The exact phrase Anna said to him every night, now spoken back like he'd been saving it for the right moment. Twice in 1 week, on top of the grape, on top of 2 years of unexplained mornings, Axel had caught what no one else in that house had seen coming. Over and over. Anna sat by the crib that night for a long time, watching Axel settle onto his perch nearby, calmer now than she'd seen him in weeks. She reached over and rested her hand gently against the feathers. I almost sent you away, she whispered. I almost stopped trusting the one who was watching him closest. Months later, Elliot was crawling, chasing after Axel with delighted shrieks of his own. Axel would call his name and wait, patient, letting the small hands reach him. I love you, Axel, Elliot would say now. The words Anna had taught them both. Not a pet anymore. Not just a bird on a perch. A small feathered brother who'd been standing guard the entire time and almost got sent away for it. If you were Elliot's parent and saw Axel acting strangely around your baby, would you have trusted him and let him stay close? Yes or no? Write it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe and leave a like. Thanks for listening. See you in the next video. Have a great day.